Anyway, rheneas, this is today's real reaction. Let's enjoy.
The train, for its type, is the most powerful vehicle on land. And the engines of sodor are the power behind the docks, industries and branch lines that make up the world-renowned North-Western Railway. These are the stories of sodor. Sodor has had a great many distinguished visitors over the years. Queen Elizabeth II, President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and even Albert Einstein. But the island's first true brush with celebrity came on August 12, 1938, with the arrival of a very special engine, Montgomery of the Great Western Railway. Things were certainly lively around the shed that day, let me tell you. Hordes of people turned out to see the poster boy for the GWR. Mr. Starr, delighted in the publicity this generated, and used the event to forge new business partnerships. That man never failed to seize an opportunity. A splendid time was had by all, made all the more special given that Montgomery had graciously brought Duck with him. It's so nice to have you back on Sodor, Duck. Feels like ages since you were last here. I know. It's criminal that I haven't been back sooner. And you can thank Monty over there for bringing me back. Monty? You call him that? It's a nickname. Don't forget my real name is Montague. He doesn't mind? Of course not. Why would he? It's just a grand engine like that. I thought, well, that he'd be too conceited. Well, I can assure you, he's not. Which I'll admit is quite surprising given his motto, which is what? There are two ways of doing things, the Great Western Way or the wrong way. If you had led with that line, Duck, I would have said he was more puffed up in the smoke box than Gordon. Speak of the devil. A lot of nonsense over nothing, if you ask me. Gee, judging by the look on his face, it's almost as if he heard you, Thomas. Yeah, it is. So either he's got real good hearing, or he's put out about something. Like what? Ah, who cares? Let's just enjoy this. Not only would the rest of the day be enjoyed, that night was equally entertaining. Just as Duck said, Montgomery wasn't conceited at all. He enjoyed talking to us at length about everything and nothing. While I admit we were a little starstruck, some more than others, that didn't detract from the fact he was an incredibly charming chap. The next morning, he left the island. For several days afterwards, we talked about the visit to anyone who would or wouldn't listen. Duck stayed behind to lend a hand around the line, which unfortunately meant he had to listen to Gordon's endless moaning alongside the rest of us. Phew, all that pomp and ceremony. Who does he think he is? The Duke of Sodor? He's famous, Gordon. Famous for what, exactly? For being the first engine, nay, the first vehicle, to ever reach 100 miles an hour. So he says. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that claim has never been verified. He has no reason to lie, Gordon. No reason other than promoting himself and his company. If I didn't know better, Gordon, I'd think you were jealous. Well, clearly, Thomas, you don't know better. After all, what would I have to be jealous about? Even if his first claim to fame didn't happen, he's gone 100 miles an hour since. I bet you couldn't top that. Balderdash. I'm an express engine, Thomas, built for speed. Oh, so you reckon you could hit 100, eh? I never boast, but I say 100 miles an hour would be easy for me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must get this train to its destination. Good day, gentlemen. Hello, Duck, old chap. How are things? Oh, just fine, Edward. You look like you're still beaming over Monty's visit, and rightly so, for he made me an offer. Oh? What sort of an offer? He said he'd be coming back to Sodor next year, and when he does, he wants me to double head a special train with him. Really? Wow. That was very kind of him. Too right, old boy. I'm incredibly flattered and humbled. You're very lucky to work alongside a grand fellow like that. He's the finest engine in the world, no mistake. Now, if I can only get Gordon to realize that. Take no notice of him, Duck. Thomas told me about your little chat with him yesterday. I don't care what he says, he's jealous through and through. I must admit, I'm a little concerned we went too far in teasing him. How so? Well, we practically dared him to do 100 miles an hour if he could. Now I'm worried. Don't be, Duck. Gordon may be proud, but he's not reckless. He would never do anything to jeopardize his passengers. You can see for yourself. Here he comes now. See? He's sticking to the speed limit like always. Phew, that's a relief. I can't help but wonder now what would happen if he did try to top Monty's speed. Well, since he's never gone that fast before, I'd say he'd probably knock himself to bits. Unfortunately, I would be partly right that day. Of course, Gordon wasn't exceeding the speed limit. He never had and never would. That's not to say he didn't run into some trouble as he approached the bottom of the hill. Ouch! What's wrong? Something just hit me. Do you need to stop? No, I'll persevere. It turns out the thing that had struck him was a loose brick that had fallen from the bridge overhead. Even if our number 4 had stopped, I doubt his crew would have found anything wrong. The damage would only be discovered at the viaduct, where a teasing wind coiled around the arches and the tracks. Like he had 100 times before, Gordon thundered over the ravine. Midway across, it happened. What the? Oh, really? Yes, the brick had struck our number 4 square on the dome, loosening the seals and allowing for the wind to pluck it straight from his boiler. It was very unpleasant for Gordon to travel the rest of the way without it. I imagine the equivalent sensation would be like having a cavity. However, Gordon pressed on to Barrow, arriving on time despite his injury. I'm sorry to say the passengers were less than tactful as they pointed out Gordon's dome was missing. He couldn't get out of the station fast enough. But he would find no sanctuary in the yard. Trying a new look, Gordon. Better take care. You know what they say about domeless engines? They aren't respectable. Pah! What would you lowlifes know about respectability? Of course, Gordon had to go to the works to get his dome replaced. While it was a quick fix, our number 4 still lamented the circumstances that brought him there. It also didn't help that the workmen found additional problems that needed attending to. While nothing serious, merely the hallmarks of wear and tear, these ancillary repairs would keep Gordon out of action for the next several weeks, forcing Mr. Starr to bring in a temporary replacement. So what's this I hear about you having a problem on the branch, Thomas? It wasn't a problem, but it came close to being one, let me tell you. Please do. All right. So I was getting ready to take my afternoon train to Farquhar. I was hoping to take on some water at Elsbridge, but the blooming tower was on the fritz. Anyway, Pete here came up with the idea of taking on water from the river, using a bucket tied to the end of some rope. I'm guessing it worked. I didn't hear about you stalling on the bridge. Oh, it worked like a treat. Took a while, but it still worked. The thing is, after a few goes, Pete started daydreaming, and on one of the times, he was about to pour the water into my boiler when he discovered there was something else in the bucket. What? Fish! Fish! And he nearly put them in. Yep, he was an inch away from turning my boiler into a cooker. I did realise. You also said it wouldn't have been so bad. Fry up some chips and we can have a nice lunch, you said. That's a good one. Yeah, I can laugh about it. All the same, I'm glad it didn't happen. Can you imagine what it would feel like having fish swimming around inside you? Oh, do I have to? In more ways than one, I'm glad it didn't happen. I would have never lived it down. Who's that? I don't know. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm Alice, your temporary express engine. Oh, hello. Nice to meet you. Welcome to Sodor. I'm Thomas. This is Eric. Hello, Alice. A pleasure to meet you both. I look forward to working with you. I also apologise for being a little late. Late? You're not late. You're 10 minutes early. Oh, sorry. It's a habit I picked up in London. What habit? From my manager. He would always say, if you aren't early, you're late. Our manager's also a stickler for the timetables. Speaking of which, I've got several lines of trucks to shunt before I get your coaches ready. No need for that, Thomas. I can fetch my own coaches. What? Really? You sound so perplexed by that. I am. No offence. I'm just not used to express engines doing their own shunting unless they absolutely had to. I know what you mean. My siblings in London treat the shunters like slaves. It's disgraceful. I, on the other hand, am not afraid to pull my own weight. You've just earned a friend in me for life, Alice. Splendid. So, where can I fetch these coaches from and get turned around? Just beyond the station, the line veers right. There's a turntable a little ways down. There's also a line of coaches near there. You can use those if you like. Marvellous. Well, I'd better get underway. Once more, a pleasure meeting you fine fellows. Well, she's nice. Too right. Not bad to look at either. Careful, Thomas. Wouldn't want Kate hearing that. Oh, shut up. My word, Alfred was right. This island has some breathtaking scenery. Ah, there's the turntable and... Wait, is that... No, it can't be. Although, green tender, adorned with the number 3? Who else could it be? If it is... if it is, I think a little dose of nostalgia is in order. The tunnel? Really? A stone construct surrounded by earth? It's the perfect bomb shelter. Or the perfect tomb. What if they dropped a particularly large bomb during an air raid? You'd be buried alive. The same can be said about any other shelter. Phew. The only thing that tunnel would be good at sheltering you from is rain. Well, if the Germans do ever bomb Sodor, you can be sure I'll make a dash for that tunnel. That's assuming you learn if they're coming beforehand. Oh, I will. My senses are on heightened alert. Bust my boiler! Are you ever not going to fall for that, Henry? What the? Alice? Is that you? Hello, old friend. It's been a long time. You two know each other? Aye. Alice and I worked together back on the Great Northern Railway. I was partly based on her design, which was one of the reasons why I had so many problems back then. No offense, lass. None taken. Those crooks should never have built you the way they did. I could nearly move 10 yards without losing steam. In truth, Alice kept me going. She was always so encouraging, so kind. I don't think I ever thanked you for that. You're welcome. I did hear you received an overhaul, but I had no idea it was down here. I love that new boiler, Henry. You look very handsome. Oh, well, thank you. So, I gather you're filling in for Gordon? Yes, I am. I hope to do as good a job as he. I know you will, Alice. You never failed to do so back on the GNR. Oh, thank you, Henry. Should I leave you two alone, Henry? Button it, James. Alice was indeed a magnificent replacement. Aside from taking the express, she also helped out with goods work, shunting, and any other job that needed doing. Every task she undertook, she did so with a smile, with utter professionalism, and, most importantly, without complaint. We even started joking about the possibility of swapping her for Gordon. A horrible jest, maybe, but that didn't make us wrong. This is Star. Oh, hello, Jim. How are you? Good to hear. How's the wife? My lovely missus is just fine too. So, to what do I owe the pleasure? I see. When? Any idea who it'll be? No. No, I don't suppose it does. All right. Yes. Yes, I will. All right. Thank you for the heads up, Jim. Much appreciated. All right. Goodbye. Bother. That's the last thing I need. Really? You can speak Spanish? Sí. No consigo práctica a menudo, pero consigo cerca. Ah, you show off, Toby. I'm proud of it. Huh. Color me impressed. Where did you learn? Well, sorry, Toby, but nostalgia will have to wait. Sir, how do you do that? How do I do what, Percy? How do you always seem to appear at the right moment? Magic. I don't know. Does it matter? Sir, are you all right? I'm sorry. I just got a phone call from a friend of mine at head office, saying you'll soon be getting a visit from a railway board inspector. A board inspector, sir? Oh dear. Why, oh dear? Well, based on the stories I've heard, such visits are always followed by a round of sackings and closures, which is why I'm not too thrilled about it either. Nonetheless, we have to deal with it. So, I want you all to be on your best behavior, meaning no fighting, no arguments, no bickering, and, most importantly, no tricks. He's looking at you, Diesel. Shut up, Peter. I'm looking at all of you. We've incurred too many infringements here on Sodor. The last thing I want is to cop another amidst a railway board inspection. Don't be devious. Phew, he doesn't ask much. Sir, I just had a thought. It's a miracle. Who's bringing the inspector in? Huh, that's a good question. Who is bringing him in, sir? Scott, sir. That's right. The inspector will be coming aboard another of Scott's holiday trains from London. Both it and he will be at Knapford on Thursday. I guess it won't be all bad then. Scott was delightful company the last time he was here. Let's just hope we don't have a repeat of the entire experience. I'm hoping for something more pleasant too, Percy. But you know what they say about he who lives on hope. That delightful sentiment was something we had to put up with until that Thursday, 3 days later. By that point, Mr. Starr was all riled up and agitated about the inspection, as were the rest of us. Why do these government types always have to stick their noses into our business? I know. Given the situation in Europe, you'd think they'd have bigger fish to fry. I can tell you this, lads. If this inspector is anything like Burke and Blair, I'm going to retire. I might just join you, old chap. Well, here he comes. Hello, Scott. Welcome back to Sodor. Hello, Mr. Starr. I'm delighted to be back. I trust Alice has been doing a fine job filling in for Gordon. She's done an outstanding job. I'll be sad to see her go. But I'm also saddened given who you've brought. Are you mocking me, Scott? No, sir. Of course not. With all due respect, I think you'll change your tone when you see who the inspector actually is. Why do you say that? It's better that you go look, sir. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. All right. What's our engine on about? I mean, who could this inspector possibly be that I wouldn't... Oh, Mr. Starr was as gobsmacked as the rest of us after the inspector alighted from his coach. While none of us had ever met the stout gentleman before, we all knew exactly who he was.
Yeah, youngsters, that was a quite interesting episode. Thanks, rheneas. I thank you, Duke. But seriously, the show that we told will be coming soon. Anyway, have a good day, guys. Bye.